Times MrBeast went too far. MrBeast has become one of YouTube's top creators in the last couple of years, and his channel only continues to grow with each passing day. If you're a fan of MrBeast, be sure to smash that like button so we know who the real MrBeast fans are. He is known as being one of the nicest people on the platform, though he has been involved in his fair share of controversy over the years. While most of his videos are feel-good videos involving giving money to less fortunate among other things, he has found himself in hot water with numerous fans throughout the years. Today we'll be taking a look at the few times MrBeast took things too far. Love him or hate him, MrBeast, also known as Jimmy Donaldson, has made a massive name for himself on YouTube and other social media websites. Jimmy has become known for his various videos that detail him giving massive amounts of money to charitable causes, or doing specific ridiculous tasks. Some videos even document him simply repeating one word over and over again for hours on end, and these videos gain millions of views. He has a serious passion for his work and is willing to commit hours each day to entertain his viewers. Even if he usually simply competes in petty challenges, he is largely viewed by a younger demographic, but has recently found success in older demographics as well. He comes up with most ideas on his own, but he will occasionally have help from his roommate or his friends to help orchestrate more difficult video ideas. His roommate is usually seen in most of his outdoor videos or donation videos and helps ensure that things run smoothly, sometimes donating large amounts of money alongside MrBeast. One of the most popular videos the two do together is when they donate funds to random Twitch streamers and Fortnite players. They target smaller channels that don't have many views and often donate thousands of dollars to them. At the moment, MrBeast's YouTube channel is the 17th largest channel in the United States. The hashtag Team Trees controversy. Last year, MrBeast launched a project that was inspired by a series of posts on Reddit. The idea behind the project was for MrBeast to plant 20 million trees in celebration of reaching 20 million subscribers. The Reddit posts initially seemed like a joke, but they gained traction rather quickly. Soon most of the posts on MrBeast's Reddit page involved this massive tree project. MrBeast finally acknowledged the trend on Twitter in May of 2019. He didn't mention much else about the idea until a few months later when he publicly launched his hashtag Team Trees campaign. In the video in which he announced the huge project, he teamed up with fans and friends and planted hundreds of trees in an open field.
It's day number 2 and we brought a lot more people. And now we're gonna try to plant the 20 million trees. So step 1 is we need to give everyone their tree. In the air. Fist bump? Yes.
Oh my. He said that the idea had become so popular on Reddit that fans would not stop spamming him about the idea. Even though it seemed like a daunting task at first, he took it on and made sure to give his fans what they wanted. He kicked off the campaign in Oregon and began to team up with former NASA engineer Mark Rober to plant trees using drones. In addition to this, MrBeast partnered with the Arbor Day Foundation, a foundation that is known for planting thousands of trees across the world to combat climate change. After this partnership was announced, the hashtag Team Trees website was launched, on which MrBeast asked for his friends, fans, and followers to donate to help make this dream a reality. For each dollar that was donated, one tree would be planted. Their goal was to raise a total of $20 million in about 2 months. They reached their goal relatively quickly, with the website currently reporting a total donation of about $22 million. MrBeast says that the company plans to have all 20 million trees planted by December of 2022, if everything continues according to schedule. As part of his involvement with the campaign, MrBeast donated $100,000 of his own money to the cause and begged others to do the same. Countless other YouTubers joined in, including Rhett and Link, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, The Try Guys, and more. Jake Paul even got in on the action. YouTube even offered to waive all transaction fees for donations made directly through YouTube. Though in response to this massive project, MrBeast received a fair amount of backlash from viewers. They were concerned that he had gone way too far with his idea and that he may cause more harm than good. Fans were concerned that the team would plant too many trees in areas that didn't need them, potentially causing issues for the local ecosystem. Others feel that his money was wasted because it can take many years before a tree makes any noticeable impact on the environment. MrBeast responded to these concerns, stating, Just to be clear, we all realize 20 million trees won't fix climate change, but at the end of the day, 20 million more trees is better than zero. We can't take action because doing nothing is how we got here. Many were concerned that most of the trees that were planted would not survive. Viewers felt as though the organization had happily accepted the funds without thinking about what would be involved with tending to over 20 million trees. Danny Cohn, the public relations manager for the Arbor Day Foundation, said, "We're not just planting and walking away. The organization says that they will be working closely with the U.S. Forest Service to ensure that trees are planted in the most beneficial area and that they will be fully cared for after being planted." Mark Rober commented on the criticism and said, "We know that 20 million trees aren't going to cure climate change, but the point here is to end this decade on a super strong note. It's a constructive way to send a message to the politicians. It's freaking time to do something about climate change. Plus, we just really love trees, so this is like a fist bump to Mother Earth." MrBeast's Homophobic Past. Aside from the obvious concerns for MrBeast's massive tree project, he has also received hate for a much more serious reason: posting potentially homophobic content on Twitter. Jimmy has been called out many times over the years for a seemingly derogatory use of the word gay in his previous videos. He would often use the idea of being gay as a punchline for his jokes and would negatively use the word quite often. He would usually use the word as a way to describe things that he didn't like, such as a tweet from 2015 in which he posted, "Windows is gay." He has also used much stronger versions of the word, such as a tweet from 2016 that reads, "I don't have a printer, fag," and another in December of 2017 that reads, "STFU, fag." In many of Jimmy's older videos, he commonly commented on not being gay, but made jokes about possibly being gay very frequently. In one of his videos, he wore a t-shirt that read, "I'm not gay, but $20 is $20. He was also seen in a video standing next to a sticky note that read, "Gay," with an arrow pointing to himself. His Twitter bio also used to read, "Just because I'm gay doesn't mean I'm gay." Jimmy was quite defensive when he was contacted by The Atlantic, a prominent news organization, about his previous tweets and videos. He was allowed to conduct a telephone interview with a reporter from the website, and he seemed to show no remorse for his actions. As the interview began, he stated, "I'm not offensive towards anyone. I'm not offensive in the slightest bit in anything I do. I'm just going to ignore it. I don't think anyone cares about this stuff." He allegedly asked the reporter if, instead, The Atlantic could post a positive article about him, but this request was denied. Since there was no way he could take part in a more positive article, Jimmy offered to answer the rest of their questions via email and asked that they send him a list of questions so he could have more time to think of a clear response rather than try to explain things off the cuff. It seems as though this request was denied as well, as Jimmy concluded the call by saying, "I'm just a dumb kid that makes YouTube videos and I don't like doing interviews." He then hung up the phone. Jimmy immediately went to his Twitter account and deleted every instant of him using the word fag. Jimmy is not the first and will almost certainly not be the last YouTuber to be called out as being potentially homophobic. Countless YouTubers in the past have been criticized for their statements regarding the LGBT community. The Atlantic seems to suggest that homophobia runs deep within the YouTube community, but we can't be so sure that this is true, considering many of the platform's largest creators are members of the LGBT community. Most of the time, it seems as though these creators are simply making poorly designed jokes and mean no ill will by their statements. But we can't say for sure what the true intent is. Famous YouTuber Zoella was forced to apologize for her use of derogatory gay phrases in the past. Both Logan and Jake Paul have been criticized for their use of gay phrasing on Twitter. One of the most applicable stories involving a YouTuber using a remarkably offensive sense of humor to gain views has to be Shane Dawson. Shane has been a YouTuber for over a decade, but many of his original videos have involved extremely offensive skits consisting with over-the-top characters who made sure to use every possible curse or slur word in the book. These videos would often be perceived as racist, homophobic, and worse. Shane was most recently criticized for his use of blackface in his older videos, with many of his reoccurring characters being artificially black. Shane has apologized for his disturbing characters in his older videos, and his fans have let him move on from the situation without too much drama. And it seems as though this is the same situation with MrBeast. Turning his life around, MrBeast has proven himself to be a next-level human regarding his efforts with donating to charity and making the worst a more sustainable place to live. He has proven his dedication to his fans time and time again and is considered to be one of the nicest, most genuine people on YouTube. Considering MrBeast launched his YouTube channel when he was just 13 years old, it isn't surprising that he had made several bad decisions and used inappropriate language on a few occasions. After all, he was a child. I'm sure we've all said things we regret as children, and Jimmy is no different. This doesn't take away from the impact or consequences of his actions, but should at least allow us to be able to forgive him and move on from the hurtful memories of the past. Jimmy has made every effort to turn his life into something bigger than himself, and makes sure to spread his wealth and cheerfulness with his fans and friends to make the world at least somewhat of a better place. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to keep up to date with our future videos.